Gore readings, Flesh Wound Horror Freaks. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd
Good evening.
and Pugs the Magnificent. How goes it, Pugs?
Namaste. Howdy. The Magnificent. I'll take it.
Montag, yes. An homage, if you will.
Sure.
So we are here tonight to do a OG and remake show. We haven't done that in a little bit, so yeah, and we're talking H.G. Lewis, so you know it's going to be a good show. I am a lifelong H.G. Lewis fan, and I don't believe we've ever love H.G.
Well, I know. Gore and tits.
Pretty
dude.
much
That's all
everything he ever did. And the remake, which I don't believe we ever I don't believe I've ever covered it, because this would have come out, I think, maybe literally like not long at all before I started doing radio, but I don't think I had started yet. So and I don't think we ever
we never did it retro.
Yeah, definitely not on Flesh Wound, and I don't think I ever did it back in the day on Creep Show Radio or anything. So I'm curious to get everybody's take on this. But we'll kick it off with the original Herschell, the original Herschell Gordon Lewis classic from 1970, The Wizard of Gore. A TV talk show hostess and her boyfriend investigate a shady magician who has the ability to hypnotize and control the thoughts of people in order to stage gory on-stage illusions using his power of mind bending. A little bit of history on Wizard of Gore. At this particular point, it was kind of the first horror film, or gore film, as Herschell liked to call them, that he had done in a while. He did Gruesome Twosome in 1967, and then kind of had a little bit of a break for a few years. He was doing a lot of biker and juvenile delinquent films around that time. She Devils on Wheels, which was a big hit, and stuff like that. So Wizard of Gore was his next one after a bit of a break, and it was kind of inspired by this failed project. It was a Grand Guignol style theater project called The Bloodshed in 1967 in Chicago, where H.G. Lewis had actors perform these simulated gory intros to his movies, and it really sounds awesome. If I was around in 1967, I would have loved to have seen it. But it was kind of not the greatest side of Chicago, and unfortunately, they just had a lot of issues. But that's kind of the genesis of this one. It stars Ray Sager, who was actually quite young, but they age him up to play Montag the Magnificent. And he was a last-minute replacement. He was a veteran of Herschell's films. He was in Gruesome Twosome, Blast Off Girls, Girl, The Body, and The Pill, Just for the Hell of It, This Stuff Will Kill Ya, Year of the Yahoo, one of my personal favorites, Gore Girls, which doesn't get enough love. He did a whole bunch of films. I think he was just coming off of Just for the Hell of It at this point, and he was playing a teenager in that. But the original actor that played Montag had apparently he had some serious mental issues, and he had a big fight with the producer over money. And in typical Herschell Gordon Lewis fashion, it's like, hey kid, you're Montag. So it was a last minute thing with Ray Sager playing the role. I'd say he does quite well. If you're a newbie to Herschell Gordon Lewis, not for everybody, but you cannot duplicate him. You can take some of his concepts, maybe remake a movie with success, but it's never going to feel exactly the same, because you don't want that polish ruins it. There's a specific.
I was gonna say you can't make it the same now. It just won't work. It's not you can't imitate it. You can't. It's a product of its time. There's no way. I mean, you can make a modern version, but yeah, this is something style of filmmaking that's stuck in that time and you'll never see again.
It really is, and I still think it plays very, very well. Truth be told, Wizard of Gore ranks a little bit lower on the list of my favorite Herschell Gordon Lewis movies. It's also longer. Most of his movies, most of his movies are not over 90 minutes, as this one is. It's also not Herschel's favorite film. They had a lot of issues with this. Some of the cemetery scenes that don't totally make sense. They had some issues there, being kicked out of the cemetery and losing some footage, stuff maybe not intended. Herschell Gordon Lewis, when he heard that there was a remake in the works for this, told the director Jeremy Kasdan, and we'll talk about that movie later, that of all his films, that's probably the one you should remake because it's not exactly what I intended it to be. Now, I still love it. I really do genuinely love this movie. There's some great gore. Again, I will take the Herschell Gordon Lewis style, the unrealistic blood, the sometimes obvious head props. I'll take that all day. The guillotine decapitation, very cool. There's a chainsaw gag. There's a lot for gorehounds to really like. There's a scene in particular that gets quite gross and holds up where eyeballs are being plucked out of a girl's head. And that was actually his son's hands doing that, which I thought was kind of cool. It does everything that it intends to do. It's very weird. There's some what's real, what isn't kind of stuff going on in the end. And I think Ray Sager's perfect for this. There are some moments. There's one scene in particular where he just kind of like drops character and looks straight at the camera, like almost trying to figure out what he should do next. Doesn't hurt the film in the least. I think all of the Herschell Gordon Lewis stuff holds up quite well. And I'm always interested in people unfamiliar. I know obviously you two are familiar, but anybody that's diving into his filmography for the first time, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts in the comments, like how they stack up against modern B movies, because I would say pretty damn well. This movie has some pacing issues. At an hour 34, hour 35, I believe it was. It doesn't need to be as long as it is, especially for something that's not we'll talk later about linear narratives with the remake, but still something that there's a little bit of repetition in this film as well, that might not hit everybody the same way. But I love it, man. It's still an amazing cult film. It puts a smile on my face every time, and I think it is a lot of fun. And I kind of dug the sort of double twist bizarro ending. How about you guys? Hot tag, whoever wants to go.
Well, starting with the ending first, I've never been satisfied with that ending. I would have rather them chose a direction, but that doesn't take away my enjoyment of the movie, like, at all. This is a classic for a reason. It was new shit brought to screen at the time, or at least not new, but unique and fucking. It was fucking gross, like in all the cool fucking ways. And
if we were teenagers at the time, we'd be at the drive-in watching all this kind of shit.
Fucking-lutely. You got blood and boobs. I can't complain. And then he's a magician at the time too. This is great. This always hits home. I don't think I'm with you guys or I'm with Dan, where it's not like the top tier of his work. Well, I'm sure we'll get there eventually. I have a clear favorite. But no, this is a classic for a reason. I fucking dig it.
Absolutely. Todd, what does it call for you?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's not his strongest of his filmography, but it's one of the ones that's also known more and even before the remake, this was always one of the go-to, like the big 5 titles of his. And there's a reason why. Even if it's not perfect, it's memorable. It sticks out. The concept, it's fun. Well, if you're sadistic, but it's fun in our kind of way. And but I mean, it's different. Like I said, it's a different style of filmmaking too. So there's something charming about it. Even with the bright red blood.
It feels more I mean, even though we're still essentially seeing women being horribly mangled, there's something more innocent to this period of H.G. Lewis films than like modern torture flicks in a lot of ways, but very gross, as you said.
I think I understand what you're saying. It's not a generational fucking toxic masculinity bullshit everyone's crying about.
Yes, and he was also working with new
for the record,
partners.
All masculinity is not toxic. People need to get that straight. They have that confused. Sorry, just throwing that out there. Sorry, Dan. Back to your point.
No, that's okay. He was working with Fred and Jerry Sandy on a partnership.
You're gonna say Fred Savage for a second. I was like, I missed that.
No, unless he has a time machine. But this was the Mayflower Pictures era. He only made 3 films, I believe, with Fred, including this one, Miss Nymphet's Zappin', and She Devil on Wheels, which was a really big hit for them. It was dissolved later. Fred was really trying to impress Sam Arkoff of AIP Pictures with this, and it has a healthier than normal budget. I know Herschell Gordon Lewis said the budget was around $50,000, which at the time a little more healthy than what he was used to. They had their problems in the shoot, but I don't think it shows too much. Like I said, some of the cemetery stuff, they meant to explain that, I think, a little bit more than they did. But you got what you got at that point. Yeah, I really do. I really do love this. It ranks a little bit lower. At some point, who knows? Maybe once we review them all, we'll rank some of the Herschell Gordon Lewis stuff. But
if Herschell Gordon was as attractive today as Black Emmanuel, we would have been done with the set years ago.
Exactly. Shit. Yeah, I think the problem is we kind of did a couple, so then it's like, how do we go through the whole set? But not that everything's on the set.
We've reviewed multiple Black Emmanuels, and we still did the whole set, Dan.
Black Emmanuel, like that took a long time. That was a chunk of the year spent reviewing that set.
Well, I'm glad all we got to do is trauma every day this year.
Yes. And I still think it's wild that Herschell Gordon Lewis has that Colonel Sanders connection, which is just hilarious to me. I mean, Colonel Sanders has been in an H.G. Lewis movie. They got free chicken from the Colonel, who apparently at that point mentally wasn't all there, was a little bit out of it. But yeah, man, check this one out if you haven't. It is a little bit longer, but I still think overall it holds up well. The gore is great. Like, that is one thing I will shout from the rooftop. If you're a gore hound, check it out. It may not be realistic all the time, but it looks fucking cool.
I like that style of gore. And I was going to say, like, we brought up the box set. So if you don't, have that, it streams on the Arrow subscription service. Full Moon has it. It's also on Tubi if you want to watch it with ads. So this one's pretty easy to check out if you haven't seen it before. And if you haven't, I recommend you do.
Yep.
Yes. Please do. One of my favorite, if not my favorite box sets of all time. Whether it's the cheaper one or the super expensive one, they're all great.
Or the super duper. Dan always forgets.
There's 3.
There's the super duper expensive one too.
Yes, I have the big cereal box one, and that's good. It's got books in it.
I wish the small one had all the content because I'd rather have the small one. That big one's just so damn big.
I don't want everything as a physical media collector to be that huge because it does kind of throw off that balance in your on your shelves. But
If
I
it's
don't
a
mind with
special
that.
movie to you, I don't. The
Yeah.
bigger the better. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
I have that giant Psycho set, but that's the thing that when I open up the giant one, it has the movies in a standard size. I hate. Yeah, that's my only thing. But that's a packaging, pet peeve, whatever.
Packaging nerds.
I
So
want less, not more. I don't want to fucking have to do the Russian fucking doll to get to the movie.
I get that. Yeah, sometimes it's a pain in the ass. So any closing thoughts on this before we rate it?
No, I said check it out. Told you where to see it. Let's just rate this thing.
All right. I'm 4 stars. I do love it. Again, ranks a little lower for HG.
There's better. I understand that. I'm actually a 4 also on this one because while I do enjoy it and I do watch this one every once in a while, it's there's we'll get to there's other ones that are rank higher. We'll say that.
I'm a 4.5 out of 5. I do like this one a lot.
All
Awesome.
right. Time for Crispin of Gore. That's what I'm waiting for.
I was so looking forward to this movie when it was announced and stuff. We'll get there.
I've got a history with this one too. I'm kind of curious to hear your history. But we go to 2007 for the Wizard of Gore remake from director Jeremy Kasdan. And in this film, magic, madness, and mayhem join in this diabolical remake of the 70s classic. Crispin Glover stars as a master illusionist whose female audience participants are hideously murdered on stage, only to miraculously reappear untouched. But when an underground reporter finds they are later turning up dead with the same wounds as those inflicted during the performance, his investigation leads to unimaginable terror. Sounds more similar than the movies actually are. I'll talk a little bit just about my history with this. So I was friends with the Suicide Girl, not in this movie, obviously.
So you just wanted to tell us you're friends with a Suicide Girl then?
No. This is what
there's
ruined.
more. Okay.
This is what ruined.
Are we allowed to
first,
say that title? Suey Wooey Girl.
Oh yeah, Dan. Damn, you fucked it about the gate.
I don't know with that one. It's a
just do it, Dan. Fuck
it's a word.
You know what? We're not getting monetized.
So I was friends with her, very close, and we watched it together. I was very excited. I didn't realize the negative side of her story, but she was not a fan of that group, and the people in charge had a lot of very unpleasant stories that I don't know if they ever came out or not. So I'm not going to get too specific, but was not a fan of the people in charge of the Suicide Girls, and kind of ruined the movie for me because I'm hearing all these awful stories.
Did you think it was like a good organization, Dan?
I guess I did, and I enjoyed it.
Great. Shut up, Todd.
I gotta confess, I don't know if there's still a thing, really. Yeah, that's the thing, because they were huge back then.
I know. I knew a couple. Yeah,
they got replaced by internet
influencers.
So. There you go, them too.
It feels like they could have
just crossed over.
You're right.
I feel like they could have made that turn to like the OnlyFans market.
But didn't they have to pay to get the licensing to be a suicide? Wasn't it all like just a fucking scam? That was.
Kendra, what's up if you're listening? Miss you.
They had to pay their dues. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, there were other things. But yeah, so my first watch, and this is such a mind fuck of a movie, so I had to watch it a second time to kind of fully get the full experience. This one it's a strange movie. I mean, the first one is strange as well, but this one,
you cast Strange as your lead, you're going to get strange.
Yes, but the Crispin Glover
He didn't have
stuff,
that big of a reputation back then, though. Like it was hinted at. He didn't go full blown Z till after this.
This is before his great classic film. What is it?
I forgot the name of it. But
Well,
What
is
is
it? Is it?
oh, that's right.
What is it?
Part 1, part 2.
Yes. So you got Kip Pardue playing Ed Bigelow, and this movie takes place in the present day, but it's kind of like you're in some weird alternate reality because it's like a 50s film noir gumshoe detective vibe to it. They throw a lot of stuff, none of which is really delved into deep, but CIA conspiracies. There's hints at virtual reality. They don't really, again, go into that at all. It's a totally different plot from the first one beyond just the Montag stuff. Maybe a little too complex for its own good, I think. Although some of you out there may find it really interesting. I don't like this movie as much as the original. I still have moments like I want to like it more than I do. There's a lot of there's some creative gore in this. A lot of it is, although it makes sense, obscured by smoke and mirrors. So you don't always get the greatest look at it that you might want. But I am a fan of Jeremy Caston. He God, early 2000s with Attic Expeditions, a movie I enjoyed
really
quite
good,
a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, Seth Green, Alice Cooper's in it.
Yeah.
He did The Dead Ones, which I know at least some of us really liked. The Thirst, his vampire film,
Yeah.
All Souls Day. He doesn't always hit a home run, but he's an interesting director.
Yeah.
Like I haven't hated any of his movies, including this one. But yeah, it's odd. It's like I don't know why they went with the like I said, the old school film noir feel. He's like the publisher of an underground newspaper, and he goes into this this sort of grungy I don't know if you'd call it a club, but carnival, I suppose, where he sees Montag's show, and that kind of throws us into the story. You never really know in this movie what's real, what isn't. That again, that might sound like a good thing, but there were certain moments where I was like, I have no fucking clue what's going on. I'm just gonna roll with it. There is some great here. We get Brad Dourif as Dr. Chong.
Fuck yeah.
Doing his absolute best with the blood-sucking eel treatment and the I think it's a tetrodotoxin. Hopefully I'm saying that right. That's a drug subplot in here that can maybe alter people's memories. I wouldn't think about this one too hard. I've seen it several times and I'm still not exactly sure what the hell was going on, but you know, that's not always a bad thing. I wish we had incorporated Crispin Glover into the story more like we did Ray Sager in the original, because he's kind of just there doing his act, and up until the very end, he doesn't really impact the plot like you would expect him to.
Yeah, and honestly, like it's weird.
Led to believe.
It is. Yeah, like I love all the Crispin Glover stuff, doing all that stuff.
Like, yeah,
I obviously
you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting with it.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Crispin Glover fan, no matter what he's in. So, I do like this one. It is, but yeah, I wish it's closer. It was closer to the the first one. I don't like what happens with his character, obviously. But I do find myself like I do enjoy it. I'm not a fan of the ending though. Kind of like the last one, but different reasons. Overall, but like I do enjoy them both. Like they're not like of the Dimension Extremes. It's not the best, but it's one of them. Speaking of which, I think those girls might have been safe because I just don't think Harvey likes tattoos. I just get that vibe from him. He's not a tattoo guy. So I think this cast was safe. I don't know. Tell us if not. I can't say about Christian. You never know with that guy.
Crispin strikes me as somebody who's probably so into his performance he's not even thinking. He's probably an
You want some of my
asexual
raw
being.
nuts? I'm not being dirty. I'm a raw vegan. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think he's even seeing titties. He's like so into it, he's not.
That's the one celebrity I want to hang out with that I haven't met.
I would be down.
Yeah, he's perfect casting, I think, for this because, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, yes, he's weird as fuck. He's got the giant cod piece and all this different, or just like, bitch. The way he says bitch.
And currently, Okada stole his gimmick.
I think I need to pull that as a drop.
I think you do. I think you do too.
Dan starts to annoy me. Just bitch.
I still like it. It's just a clusterfuck of a movie. I can't.
I get that. I'm not even arguing a word of that.
Yeah. And we haven't even talked Bijou Phillips,
No,
who is still fucking gorgeous, and probably honestly would have been better off if she just rode off into the sunset with Crispin Glover compared to what happened to her later. But you know what? You don't always need to explain everything. I think this one would have been a little better off if they gave you just a little more. It's a circular narrative rather than a linear narrative, and
from the advertisements that we got, like all the ads in Fangoria and I think MySpace back in the day.
Oh yeah, MySpace.
I'm like, this movie's gonna fucking own. They're remaking that with these guys. This is badass. And I go to see this movie, and I'm like, this is not what I was promised. This is fucking weirder than what I thought. Okay, let's see how this goes. And for the most part, I fucking love it. I get it's wild, it's strange, it's fucking weird. I'm like, I can dig this, but then the ending, I'm like, God damn it, you guys fucked me here too. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm with you guys. That I don't think the destination is the most enjoyable part, but the journey to get there, it's a fucking good time. It's
a party movie. You throw it on, put it on.
Yeah,
it's good background noise.
I still want the movie I thought I was getting. One day someone's going to make that. But
it delivers like on most of what you want. Like, I mean, you got full frontal Suicide Girls. Each and every one of them is gorgeous. Definitely my type. You know, you've got the Halloween element with the sort of Halloween party at the beginning. I didn't even mind, I didn't mind like that this is the modern day, but this guy's kind of in a film noir. Because who the fuck knows? I mean, like you said, you got those weird, like possible virtual reality things happening. Like you don't have to play by the rules, but there were some moments too where I was like, I wish we weren't just getting flashes of this, where Ed goes Army Hammer on Bijou Phillips and just like trying to eat her. And
that was a thought crime, so he never ate anybody.
I didn't
love to hear Army Hammer.
We don't know what the hell was happening.
I didn't even double check on this one, Dan. This one just has the one cut, right?
You know what? I think this one might have only come out unrated. I mean, I've got it right here.
That's what I think, because like even the which I was going to say, you can stream this on Tubi, Plex. It's also streaming free with ads on Vudu or Fandango now at home, I should say. So you can check it out if you don't want to pick up the DVD. You want to check it out.
Hopefully not edited on Tubi, because I hear there are a few things that are for
Tubi doesn't do that. Really?
That's the way they're submitted. Yeah, they'll tell you if something needs cutting, but they don't cut anything.
I didn't know
that's on stuff like Gator Blade. They're not like, I haven't heard of cutting like mainstream.
See, somebody told me Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama is an edit.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of ones like Full Moons puts theirs in cut. Another one that does is like Pumpkin Patch Pictures, because they want to drive you to see them uncut on their services.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because somebody told me that, and I was like, Sorority Babes is pretty innocent, so that makes sense.
I believe I didn't watch the Tubi version, watch the Full Moon streaming, so I don't know. They may have even like censored titties on that one, on the other one, but I don't know.
So
But
this one, who knows?
well,
But,
no, I watched this one. It wasn't like that.
Oh, okay, cool,
So.
cool. So there's a lot of eye candy. Crispin Glover going insane, but I agree, it is one of those movies. Like, I'm expecting coming out of this for this to be a 5, and it's just not.
No,
And
it's not.
you know, we even get deathmatch moment with Montag swallowing the light tube. Shout
Fucking
out
sold the shit out of that.
Shout out Kruger versus Crispin Glover coming soon. There you go. That's a hellbound main event one day. So, oh, and we neglected Jeffrey Combs in here as the geek.
Yeah, that was one of my notes.
It's a great cast.
Jeffrey Combs is fucking awesome, but
Hmm.
Brad Dourif is the fucking standout for me.
Yeah.
I'm here thinking Crispin Glover is going to steal the show, which obviously he should, but fucking Dourif, dude.
With the three of those, anyone's right to steal the show. I mean, all of them in one movie is pretty fucking nuts.
Honestly, them hanging out at the table read. Can we just go there?
Oh, dude, that is like a road movie with Crispin Glover. It's like a college reunion or something, and you got like Crispin Glover, Brad Dourif, and Jeffrey Combs.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be Brad Dourif said there's no tutti fucking fruity in your that's gonna be his role in the adventure.
Just Crispin, just sit down, bitch. You die tonight.
He's definitely the baby of the bunch.
Yes, absolutely.
Shut the fuck up.
At least Combs as Otis. That's a fun trip. I'm down for that.
What's that movie with John Travolta, Tim Allen, and William H. Macy? Wild Hogs.
Yeah.
That
I
like
still have
that
not
scenario.
seen it, damn it. I need to.
I haven't
John Travolta's
either.
in there too, right?
Yeah, Travolta, Tim Allen,
Martin Lawrence.
I'm sure
Martin
they
Lawrence is the
massages
other
after.
Well, when you guys do it, I might fucking finally watch it.
There you go.
There you go.
It's one of Evil Rob or DeRoblo. I forgot his fucking name. Rob. It's one of his movies that he loves a lot. What's up, Rob?
My dad loves that movie, actually. So as it stands, I think you should check this out. If clear plot lines are something that you need, you're going to be miserable. But some solid gore, even though a lot of it's obscured more than it should be. Great cast and a lot of wonderful alt girl eye candy. I have to give this one a 3, but man, it still leaves me want. You know what? A 3.5.
Right.
But that's actually low for this movie.
Well, I was gonna say I was higher than Dan, but nope, he raised his score. I'm a 3.5 also.
There you go.
Oh, we all must be bleeding at the same time because I'm a 3.5 as well.
And there you go. I mean, that's that means we all enjoyed it. You can check it out. Like I said, you can pick up the DVD, stream it on Tubi, Plex. I was gonna say Troma now and going to my end of my routine, but no, not there. You can stream it on Plex, Tubi, and Fandango at home. There we go.
And maybe we'll get lucky and get some more of these remade. I know at one point Jeremy Kasdan was developing other Herschell Gordon Lewis projects before 2001 Maniacs, which I know we'll have a 2000 Maniacs show at some point. So keep an eye out for that. And
the South will rise again.
It's a
all
fucking
right.
hardcore song, man. I fucking love that shit. Yeah.
Dan's like just realizing, how are we going to do the graphics for that?
That will be a challenge.
Stars and bars never run.
We can get some guest reviewers on that one. I know some people.
Maga Butcher. It's all right. I'm white. I fucking love it.
On that note, guys, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. It all starts at just $1. You get uncensored content, exclusive content, a lot of which never airs on YouTube. Definitely will never air on YouTube. And also our free Discord. Check that out. It's an awesome Discord. Kruger does a great job. Did a great job setting that one up. Flesh Wound After Dark content on the way. Be sure to listen to Flesh Wound Horror Live, and please comment the videos with your thoughts. Maybe you think we're full of shit on a review, whatever. We like hearing that too. And like, share, subscribe.
All right.
That's it.
Come again hard, bitch.
No money for you, Dan.
I'm gonna do that every time.
I'll see you in Disneyland.
Just remember.